Yes, backed by, you know what I mean? Popular demand. You know what I'm saying? It is a black file. I gotta have a little bit of fun, just a little bit, just a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Before we get all controversial and we start getting into, you know what I mean? The unknown, the unseen, and the unspoken of, right? Or those things that people want to talk about, but maybe are too afraid to talk about, are things that people kind of do know, but they don't really want to expose the truth on because maybe they have certain ties or political, different things that are holding them back, or social ties, or maybe they're so lost in the sauce that they're not even aware that these things are probably going on, right? But for those of us who are, this is the Black Files episode 17. All right, episode 20 is a coming. Okay, in episode 20 we gonna do something just so off the wall and crazy. Okay, and we cooking that up. We're not gonna tell you what it is, of course, right? And hopefully in episode 20 we don't get taken down. You know what I'm saying? Like, we trying to stay up here for a minute. Let me take a quick pause for the pause and say what's up to Lady E. She says, "Hola, hey Lady E, what's up, girl?" You know what I mean? Now, I mean, before I get into whatever I'm about to get into or whatever I'm about to talk about, whatever we're about to talk about, Miss Oshun, what's going on?
Nothing much. As always, I'm interested in conversations that's not being had. So this is one of those. We were supposed to do this last week, but I had so much going on, as I know you probably did too. But yeah, I'm looking forward to tonight and just kind of like going through it. But honestly, with what we're talking about tonight, it's not going to be anything that probably people ain't aware of for real in their everyday life, but it will bring some light to maybe what you might do in your personal life. I'll be honest with you, because I know it did for me. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good.
I'm glad you do. I'm glad you do. For real, for real. You know what I'm saying? It's good to feel good. We're gonna do some episodes too about just some things just about personal stuff, some things about mental and emotional health. We're gonna do a lot of different things, man, on these next coming shows. Not just on the Black Files, but all the shows on here. Y'all about to see something completely different. But let me not keep talking. Let me, give a quick cause for the pause for Embrace the Grace. She said, "What's good, fam? Salute to you, Embrace the Grace. Make sure y'all subscribe and like to Embrace the Grace on YouTube. Also to the JVJ Network on YouTube. Definitely show them love, all right?" And the lady E giving a shout out. She said, "Miss Oshun." Know what I mean? She's excited to see you in the building. Know what I'm saying? So yeah, with that being said, I think a lot of times when we're talking about these different things, a lot of times, we don't think about connecting it to our personal life, right? Like that's the last thing that comes into our mind. Because a lot of times we're just talking about something and we're like, oh man, this needs to be talked about. They don't understand what's going on. Y'all don't want to deal with this. Like we just so focused on exposing something or talking about something that may actually be true that the personal part about it usually is something that we kind of get to last or we may ponder about after the show, right? But this one's a little bit different. It's going to hit different today. I mean, so I'm going to let you kind of drive a little bit, Miss Oshun, and just kind of tell them what we about to get into.
So tonight, I wanted to dive into, and I'm going to be switching computers in a bit, but I wanted to dive into what we might understand as Lyme disease. And if anybody who lives in the countryside or in the northeast region of the United States, you know that there's a large case of Lyme disease in this area, and it's really concentrated in that area of the country. And so, people typically say, "Oh, you got Lyme disease, just go get treated for it," right? Nobody really understands, well, what Lyme disease really is and where it comes from. Especially because they feel like it comes from animal bites, specifically ticks, right? And at least for my entire life, I thought Lyme disease was something that was just normal. I thought it came from ticks biting deers and then biting human beings, right? And so thus you get, Lyme disease. But after doing some research, I realized that that's not the truth. Now let me give you all some backstory on how this came about. A couple years ago, I was working for the state, and one of my clients that came in, he came in trying to get his paperwork, whatever, and we was talking, and I asked him, like, what are you trying to do here? And he said that he had lost his job or quit his job. And I said, where did you work? And he told me he worked in my state at a testing facility out here, in the DMV. And I said, well, that seems like a nice job. He was actually doing janitorial work. And I asked, well, what was the reason? And he said he couldn't stomach what he saw as the janitor in that testing site, or at that testing site. And he said that the things that they will remain kind of quasi unnamed right now. He said the things they are doing over there is something that it's just not right. And it's so exotic that he can't even really talk about it. But he says the things that they're doing to animals, and you wouldn't believe the things that they're doing to animals. This is not even about abuse at this point. You just wouldn't believe it. That's what he told me. And so he didn't go into it, and I didn't force him to. But my thing was, I never forgot that exchange, right? So when I was doing my research about, Lyme disease, the reason I was doing my research about Lyme disease is because, and I'll let you guys know how this ties in together, but I was told that maybe I might need to go get tested for it, right? And when I went to see my doctor, who was so avidly, telling me I need to get tested for this and tested for that and tested for this, I said, hey, doc, can I have can I get a referral for a test for Lyme disease? And he was like, well, why do you want that? And I said, well, I think I might need to get tested because of my symptoms. I just want to be sure that it's not, Lyme disease. And he was like, well, I wouldn't suggest that you get tested for Lyme disease because it's not really a serious case or whatever. And it was just a bunch of excuses. And I was just really taken aback. Like, this is the guy that's been telling me to get tested for the most silliest of stuff. But now when I asked him to get tested for Lyme disease, there's this pushback. You see what I'm saying? So at the time, this was years ago. At the time, I didn't think much of it. I just kind of was like, well, okay, I just kind of blew it off. But then when I started hearing about animals showing up on shores that didn't look quite like animals, right? I just kind of felt the need to listen in on it a little more closely. So when I learned that there was a facility, much like the facility out here in my state, that was nearby the location where these strange animals popped up, I said, okay, what's going on here? So I watched a couple documentaries about it, and turned out that these facilities are responsible for but experimentation on ticks that carry Lyme disease, right? So when I realized that Lyme disease is not a real disease, it's an artificial disease, and it was created in that laboratory, right, in this region where we have a high concentration of people with Lyme disease, I started putting one and one together, and I'm like, hold on now. Are you telling me that this testing on animals got something to do with Lyme disease? Yes, biological warfare. That's what that is. Now, this is the reason why, Mr. Best is like, look, we got to be careful what we say because we don't want to, set off no alarms on here. But this is where the story kind of starts taking a left turn. When we start talking about, well, the purpose for the testing. Because it wasn't necessarily that Lyme disease was the intended goal, right? It was the fact that Lyme disease is really something that comes as a byproduct of unnatural experimentation on how to create what's called super ticks. that can kill off whole populations and create a situation where you don't need to fire off one weapon to kill thousands of people. So I'm getting ready to take this downstairs to my office and send you this video, Mr. Bass, so that I can, just kind of let the people know generally like what I'm talking about and what they finna watch and be open to. But and again, I'm not saying that this literally affects you. It might not, but generally speaking, if you've had symptoms that are similar to those with of people who have caught Lyme disease, you may really need to go to the doctor, because this right here is not a natural disease that you get because you got bit or something like that and then you just get over it. That's not what this is, and I personally think the rabbit hole goes deeper than this, but we're gonna get there for sure. But give me a minute, a couple minutes while I get myself set up here though, for real.
Definitely take your time. As you're taking your time, go take a quick pause for the pause. I will give a salute to Dramo, what's going on? Good to see you. Also salute to the homie Smitty's Corner. Smitty, what up, man? What's going on? You know what I mean? Give respect to the fam. Definitely shout out to the family. Those who know, they know. Also salute to Bolo TV. Bolo, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Make sure you like and subscribe to Bolo TV. Make sure you like and subscribe to Psychopath. You know what I mean? The homegirl Dramo. Make sure you follow Smitty's Corner, man, on all social media platforms as well. He said bioengineering warfare. Yes. You know what I mean? We've heard about this. We've heard about, them dropping a bioengineer, bomb and everybody getting sick and people passing out and skin melting off and all. I mean, we've heard about this for a long time. But can it be secretly they're already doing this already? You know what I mean? Where it comes to something as simple as Lyme disease, or what we know as Lyme disease, right? So now it changes the narrative of basically what we think about, just not just Lyme disease, but disease period. You know what I mean? So now it shifts our focus to really say, okay, well, if this is what they're doing, they're manufacturing disease, right? Is this a way of them having like population control? Because we don't want to think on that level, right? We don't want to think that they're actually trying to control the population by disease or even by, I'm going to go so as deep as food, right? We don't want to think about that. That's the furthest thing that wants to cross our mind. So when we see that chicken from Popeyes, we don't want to think that the chicken that they want us to buy is actually killing us. We don't want to think about that, right? We don't want to think that it's actually, interfering with our own, our own chemicals. Is creating chemical imbalances, creating probably, not only just, probably issues as far as just like our own nervous system and things of that nature, but maybe mental health issues. Maybe the foods that we're eating is causing mental, emotional, and maybe spiritual health issues, right? Because a lot of time, remember, some of us, we pray over our food. But what if our food that we pray over is being prayed on? And I'm not talking about the P-R-A-Y pray. I'm talking about the P-R-E-Y pray. So what if that food that we're eating is being prayed on? What if it's being contaminated with different diseases and things that's making us be and think and move a certain way, right? So let me give a shout out also to the homie. Marcus, I like how Marcus shouts out literally everybody in the chat. That's so dope. You know what I mean? Just giving Marcus a shout out. So yeah, this is something that we got to think about. We got to think about literally, what I'm saying, are the things that we're being told, right, that's a disease, or we're being told that is food, or we're being told that is whatever it is leading to our downfall, right? You know what I'm saying? These are conversations that need to be talked about. And of course, we always want to say, well, why don't the powers that be do something about it? Why don't they actually step in and actually, do something to help us to not be sick? Or why don't they put the right restaurants in our neighborhoods? Or why don't they do this or do that? Or why don't they make us socially and consciously aware of things about Lyme disease or any other diseases? Because it's probably a part of the plan. Probably a bigger plan going on that we are literally not aware of, right? And that's what we have to really, really be concerned about. That's where we should really be, I won't say really fearful, but more aware of what's going on. But yet again, I'm going to let Miss Oshun drive. Go ahead, Miss Oshun.
Hey, okay, so I'm about set up here.
Just trying to get this out. It's gonna be a video. I'm gonna start it a little over. Give me one second. Yeah, I'm gonna start it right here. Let me share my screen. Share screen. Okay. So I'm just gonna play it. And matter of fact, do you want me to send this to you, or you want me to just play it?
You can play it. Just make the screen bigger, and just remember stop after every 15 to 30 seconds.
Okay. Is that better?
Just hit the one that has hit the one all the way at the end. That's the one that's gonna make it complete full screen.
Okay. Like this.
It just went dark. What happened?
Okay.
I don't know if it's my computer or.
Yeah, it did go. Okay, let me stop sharing real quick, and then bring it back again.
Oh, I know why it went dark.
Why?
You know why.
Stop.
You know why it went dark.
Stop it. Okay, so okay, I'll play it. Yeah, matter of fact, I guess I'll just in case something happens here with us, I'll send this in the back feed, just so you have it. Yeah. Okay, so I'll start playing this just so people can get an idea. I may skip through, but for the most part, I'm gonna try to let it play just so everyone can, understand what research has been done and what people are saying. All right, so here goes. Let me make sure my is up. Here we go. All right.
Mutants, monsters, and abominations leave us mystified. From the jungles of Africa to the backyards of America. Many are products of science, sometimes in the pursuit of good. Others reveal the evil done behind closed doors. East Hampton, New York, 2008. At the island's northern tip in Montauk, the beach resort hamlet is enjoying a busy tourist season.
Okay, just pausing for the cause. Yeah, so as you guys can see, we talking about where a lot of the U.S. population is, where a lot of the immigrants is coming to, all of that, so just keep that in mind, but we're going to get there slowly.
But then, a grisly discovery turns a day of fun into a day of terror. It happens when a 26-year-old woman and her 3 friends stumble across something that looks like a creature from a Hollywood horror movie. Unlike any known living being, it defies all laws of nature. And to this day, it has never been identified.
The Montauk Monster, is it myth? Is it real?
We don't know, but we hear.
I said, "Wow, that was like
what?
Something like that." When they be like, like something that was discussed in the Bible.
Well, yeah.
Part that, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, but keep in mind, right, this is an actual report. When these photographs first started circulating, I remember what I saw on the news, and I remember thinking to myself, like, yeah, that's not photoshopped. Like, I could tell when they first hit the news story, I'm like, yeah, what is going on here? Like maybe this is an undiscovered animal, right? That's what I was thinking. But it's like they didn't say, oh, did you know that there was this place across the river here that was doing X, Y, and Z, and this is why you're seeing this? Nobody said that. They just showed us the photographs and made it seem like, oh, this is just a new species we just haven't discovered. But yeah, the pot thickens, okay, as you guys know. But come on.
People described it as a cross between a dog and a raccoon and even a sea turtle. It seemed like every part of nature played some type of part in the creation of whatever this was.
In the weeks that follow, news media and cryptozoologists examining the photographs report theories from the simple
Some say it was simply a bloated raccoon,
to the otherworldly.
but others claim that it was an extraterrestrial.
What's underneath that skull thing? Is that the brain? Could be an alien.
But to the residents of this Long Island town, the answer hits much closer to home. Just off the coast of New York, and a stone's throw from Montauk, lies Plum Island.
I like how they try to throw the whole raccoon thing out there. Oh, it's just a bloated raccoon. No, it ain't. I ain't never seen no raccoon look like that.
You seen that stick move that shit around, and you seen how, like, yeah, no, that ain't no raccoon. I don't know what the fuck. These people playing in our face, yo. That's what that is. We know what a raccoon look like. That ain't no raccoon with no damn beak. Come on now.
Ain't no hair on his body either.
On top of that. Like, on top of that. But this is what happens. They just tell you it's raining and ain't no fucking rain. But all right.
A top-secret animal disease research center, haunted by rumors of genetic and biological experimentation.
And the accusation is, of course, denied. But in 2009, several events started to occur that show that there is much more going on Plum Island than we know about.
Another hybrid creature washes up on the beaches of Connecticut, followed by another in 2011. And within the span of a year, 2 more on Long Island. Are these shocking real-life photographs a glimpse inside the secrets of Plum Island?
I'm sure they're gonna tell us, but
There's absolutely no denying that this is real. This is happening time and time again.
And now, as the alleged evidence piles up on the shores of the East Coast, a rather sudden announcement is made. The facility will be...
Now, pay attention here to what's blurred out. I just want y'all to see that. You see that? They still trying to cover up. Even though they reporting on this, they still covering shit up. But, I mean, we kind of already know what this is. If you live on the west side of Europe, over here in Americas, you know what you're looking at in this sign right here. But all right.
It's a way just for them to maintain control and to not have mass hysteria.
Right.
Because they will reveal information about what's really going on that island and how it affects the eastern seaboard, then yeah, it's really gonna be problematic.
Right. If they're implicated per se, directly.
Exactly. Salute to Simon.
Here we go.
Closing, but have the secrets of Plum Island already escaped?
The secrecy surrounding Plum Island was so intense that scientists were being flown in and flown out. It was like the Area 51 for bioweapons.
Exposing the history of Plum Island reveals chilling facts that suggest the facility may host the development of what could be catastrophic biowarfare weapons.
Good Lord. Here we go.
I think people got to really understand how disease can be used as a weapon. You know what I mean? Because the thing is that people are, if they're too ill or they're too sick to even do anything about an incoming attack or, being able to protect their families. Now, we're under attack or things are happening around in our neighborhood and we're too sick to even be active because of everything that's going on. You know what I mean? Salute to one of our music curators, the great Eric Vaughn. What's up, man?
Hey, Eric. All right. Let me press play up in here.
And and that it might not only be animals they're experimenting on.
This is the definition of biosafety before. It involves diseases for which there is no cure. If one of those diseases would get out, it could be catastrophic.
How did we build one of the deadliest germ labs on Earth? We didn't.
Now, I just want to throw this sidebar in there. Last I checked, the vid, the code to the vid, right, got out of a laboratory over there in East Asia, specifically in China. That's what I heard. Now, of course, I could be wrong, but because truth is, the U.S. owned a patent on that many years before this outbreak, and strangely, that patent shows up in a laboratory in China, and then suddenly it starts spreading unsanctioned. You feel me? So, I don't know. The details could be off, but I just find that interesting. Hold on.
Hired the Nazis to do it for us.
Not hired the Nazis again. Goddamn, these people getting more money from America than I understand. Seriously.
Well, you got to have somebody that plays a bad guy while you play the good guy, even though secretly you're the bad guy. I call it the Homelander theory from the series The Boys. If y'all haven't watched The Boys, watch The Boys on Amazon, TV, and y'all see what I'm talking about. Homelander pretends to be a good guy, but he's really a bad Superman. But yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, okay, got you.
Coming up next, ties to one of history's most evil regimes sheds light on Plum Island's true purpose and potential.
This man was one of the Nazis' lead disease researchers during the war. And instead of prosecuting him, we offer him a job to run one of our facilities.
And later, we uncover the upcoming location of the new Plum Island. But be warned, it's closer than you think. Unsealed.
Good Lord, these people try to kill us, goddamn. But all right. All right. Unsealed Conspiracy Files. I got you. Now, I like the fact that they call it Conspiracy Files. Meanwhile, they showing actual footage.
Well, the thing is, we could let you know some of the truth, but you can't really do nothing about it. So I'm gonna let you know something about it. But what are you gonna really do with it? Yeah, that's why the Congress can have that congressional hearing and say, yeah, other life forms exist. What are we actually gonna do now? Like, what are we gonna do? Like,
technically, if it came out for real that, like, on record that this disease and or whatever was going on with Plum Island is the reason why people have died, passed away, lost jobs because of illnesses that they created that was not supposed to be out in the U.S. public. That's more than a class action lawsuit right there. So, I mean, it's not like it's nothing that can happen between that. And keep in mind, the U.S. government loses credibility on the world stage when they are seen as the terror, you know what, in their own country, i.e., rogue governments that are deemed, put on the terror list, because they have essentially become bullies to their own citizens. So yeah, this has more implications than, just people being sick, But let me press play on that joint.
Well, they'll probably just give them hush money. You know what I mean? Or if they don't give them hush money, sometimes some of these people will just, literally disappear. You know what I'm saying? In the thin air.
I mean, hush money for us is more like reparations, but I got you.
Oh, wow.
I got you. Hold on, let me click it.
Conspiracy Files. Welcome back to the world of conspiracy. This is Unsealed Conspiracy Files.
Okay, they be trying to make this so, like, I love the graphics though.
90 miles from the 8.5 million people of New York City lies Plum Island, an animal research center which may house some of America's darkest secrets. And it all begins with a history reaching back to Nazi Germany. Unsealed case file, Operation Paperclip.
Is this what you was talking about when you called me?
I may have referenced this as well. By the Operation Paperclip thing. But it was something else. It was another theory that I referenced, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Smitty, you know what I mean? Enjoying him a good beverage. I see you over there, dog. You know what I'm saying? Salute to Smitty. You know what I mean? I'm thirsty now. Dang, Smitty, you got me thirsty now, bro. I want something to drink.
Cream soda. The only kind I drink besides your road.
Man, that joint look fire.
Hi.
Respect to you. What we got?
All right.
I'm just listening. I told you guys I'll be here. I'm just listening right now.
I got you. Let me I'll be pausing in between because I don't want the algorithm to catch it the wrong way.
I'm here. I got you. Rock out. No problem.
Okay, here we go.
Reims Island, Germany. Founded in 1910, it is the home of the world's oldest virological laboratory. And in World War II, was the home base of SS bioweapons research led by Nazi scientist Erich Traub. Under Heinrich Himmler, Traub investigated and experimented in unique forms of biowarfare for Hitler's army. Including fatal diseases carried by biting or stinging insects.
Traub discovered that with the use of an infectious disease, you could put that into a tick and use that as a weapon in warfare. If you were to do that, you can drop that on your enemy and never have to put your troops into harm's way.
Traub and his bioweapons failed to turn the tides for the Nazis in World War II. But after the war, Russia and the US gave top Nazi scientists immunity from war crimes in exchange for their services.
Here we go.
Is this pay for play? Oh my gosh.
No. How about we still having the same conversation today? Like a whole nother group of people. Like, why is we giving people jobs that should be in jail, but the people in jail can't get no jobs? Like, what are we talking about here? This is the problem. This is how deep America is inside of the SHIT hole for real. Like, we still having the same conversation we was having in 1910, in 2000. What year is this? 23.
Lola, are you saying crime does pay just depending on the crime?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's like heights. When you get but so far up, you don't feel scared no more. That's how it works. You know what I mean? You can do whatever you want to do when you get but so far up. Now, if you kind of like, 50 feet up in the air, yeah, you finna die. But when you get like, I don't know, 3 miles up, nah, anything you do is good.
Hold on, Lola. Stop the tape. Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say something real quick? Maybe I'm tripping. So I clicked on my computer, and it says stream unavailable, suspended for something. I don't know if I'm tripping because I'm on here with you guys, but then I tried to go to it on my computer and it's blank. But I see a chat. I don't know if that's. I just want to get y'all here.
I see.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Okay.
Thank you, Smitty. Let me go look.
All right, we gotta stop the video. We gotta stop the video.
Oh, it's back. They on shit like that, huh?
So let me see. Oh, now we back on. Now we back on. You know what? It's okay. It's okay. But Smitty, did you get the gist of what was going on?
Yes, yes. I've looked into these things as well. We be on the same page with a lot of stuff. Well, I do know about, like, okay, so for example, I believe where the thought process and I guess you can say a modern day warfare where this idea started, came back during the Black Plague when all those people perished because of the rats. And so then from there, ideas started to spark. So what they've realized that they can do is from insects to rodents, there's a lot of tests that's being going on. For example, you are right about how they will make the bugs have diseases. For example, there's been a lot of talk on how certain countries wanted to depopulate us. The mosquitoes, them all. Do y'all remember, like, when we all of a sudden heard of some new mosquitoes, some tiger mosquitoes that came over? Yeah, a lot of them were said to hold certain diseases that make us sterile. You know, and so just that by itself, and even down to the foods. You all know me. That's my field. You're absolutely right. There are so many things. Like, for example, they know majority of blacks drink malt liquor. Yes, malt liquor is damn sure known to shrink your nuts, and you have low sperm count and everything else. Why? So we don't, so we can't. Now I don't know. Niggas still got a bunch of babies, but these things do happen. The foods that we have and stuff, a lot of these flavorings and stuff. That's why, if you notice, majority of how Asian food, how we like it, them people don't eat that. You go back there in the kitchen, man, they food just as bland as ever. They don't put all that stuff that they put on it for us. Why? Because they know what's in these things. And I'm not saying don't enjoy food. What I'm saying is definitely be mindful and be careful of what you put in your body. That's why I'm very careful about what I allow my ears to take in, my eyes to take in, and my body to take in. It's going to have a lot to do with how you function out here. And they are definitely trying to put us down through chemical and biological warfare. That's a real thing, yes, because you don't have to do the kamikaze no more. No more just having to fly jets and this stuff and everything else. We can just send a bunch of insects. What America's working on making, I guess you can say, like drone insects. They're working on that. They're making dragonflies, moths. They make moths, dragonflies, beetles, all kinds of in their drones. And this way they can do more, I guess, espionage and things of that nature. So it's real wild how insects are now being implicated into war. And even if we go back all the way to ancient Egyptian days, not to get off, but even the Egyptians used the scarab beetles at times against their enemies. So, I mean, this is something that's been going on for quite some time. It's interesting how it's been evolving. I digress. My mic is muted. Let's keep on rocking now.
Wow.
Well, yeah, you see that? Now, here's the thing, right? And I know we had to cut the video because they were tripping. But you saw how it started out with people randomly seeing stuff on a beach. See what I'm saying? Now, how would you connect? If you didn't know any of this, right? How would you connect strange animals on the beach to biological warfare in Germany and Lyme disease in the northeast of America? How would you connect that?
You know what? It seemed like they give us a little Blue's Clues about. Yes, I did say Blue's Clues, whatever. For those who actually like that show, never watched it. Oddly enough, but they give us a little Blue's Clues of what's going on, and I mean, it's kind of like a now you see me, now you don't type of thing, right? It's kind of like just like when we see extraterrestrial life. It's like, okay, you see the lights in the sky, you see different things happening, but now, I mean, we can't really have any really concrete evidence, right? We can't, we can't really have a part of an extraterrestrial, ship, or even, see that there's parts of DNA from the life form, anything like that. There's no really concrete evidence, right? We can really, really pin down. It's always kind of, like something that's kind of may hint to something, but it's never fully, revealed or known. So I think that's what's going on in this situation. Like, it's little hints, little things that's going on. They're showing the different life forms and things that people find on beaches and whatever, but there's no real concrete evidence that this is actually happening on Plum Island. Like there's no concrete evidence of that. So when you don't have any concrete evidence, what can you do? You know what I mean?
Well,
it kind of leaves people handcuffed, because now if you do bring charges against I would say Big Brother, right? You do bring charges against Big Brother. Then what happens now? What evidence can you suffice that's going to hold up in court that people are going to actually, give you any type of monetary, supplements or any type of monetary, victory, or you're just going to be sitting back with the disease or using a pseudo medication in order, to basically treat the disease, and you're never going to even have really any real results because you don't have any real evidence, right?
Well, the best. I would push back on that, and I would say in a court of law, you don't need hard evidence to convict, and that's because here's the thing: the nature of evidence is always going to be somewhat elusive. Like it's just
circumstantial,
circumstantial. Yeah,
yes.
It's not going to be no. Well, I'll say not never, but mostly you will never get that hardcore evidence. But truth be told, for instance, if I had a pharmacy, right, that I opened in my town, and then within a 1 block radius, everybody keep finding meth paraphernalia around, like in high amounts, right, around my pharmacy. The police don't need to see me making meth. They don't need to see that. All they need to see is anywhere I got a business, they find meth paraphernalia. That's just interesting because they're going to test other facilities as well. And if they keep seeing a pattern with me, all they're going to do is pull me into court and put me in jail for the rest of my life. And they're not going to need footage either. So when we say, well, there's no evidence, look at this. Animal Research Center, right there on the sign, right around, like, and then when you look at the circumference of all of the places they found these animals, it literally follows the path that the current moves away from this island. So you have animals showing up on the beach in the direction that the wind is blowing these animals, these dead animals in the water. Now, I want to know for real, how the fuck they get in the water? Y'all can't cover your shit up good enough to, like you put your trash in the ocean? Tell me you not putting trash like that in our ocean.
We real deal do. There are spots where the Mariana Trench is. They are now reversing the process because for some strange reason, tires are the one thing that's like almost not recyclable at all. And anybody who knows about scrapyard work or anything, they do not take no damn tires. That's like trash. So they have, billions almost of like tires from like the 80s to like now. They're just now getting them out. So imagine all them decades, tires being dumped at this one spot. And what it's done is it's killed a lot of the coral. And then from there, with the coral gone, a lot of the life that's around it. So, now we're getting depletion of sea life. And we don't know but a little like 2% of it. And we're already starting to deplete that. So that's a real thing. Yes, we do. They just pulled out several tons of those masks, the 19 masks that we had to wear. They just pulled tons of that out of the ocean. Yep, all the masks, all them little blue hospital, them things went smooth into the water for some reason. And I still have my thoughts about it. I wonder, I'm like, we can shoot satellites and stuff. If anything, why don't you just shoot the shit in space? Like, why in the ocean? But no, they do. It's a lot of stuff that goes to the ocean, and it's not just sunken ships. I digress. My mic is muted.
Wow. Listen, that right there is that. See now that makes sense. So to your point, Mr. Best, we see these animals showing up. We clearly know these animals didn't just walk here. They drifted here from some place. Now, you find a bunch of animals that don't make any sense naturally. We know that the government know when you see an unnatural animal of different types washing up on shores, you know what's sitting around somewhere. Come on, like they know. Remember what I told you about the guy who left his job, the janitor? They know what's out here for real. They do. And we know it too. Like just how I found out. You see what I'm saying? People that work there that get fired and leave, they know that too. So it's like if you want to talk about evidence, the same evidence that a court system would convict for, it's already out here. And if that's enough for the U.S. court system, why ain't it enough for me? It's more than
they're not going to convict themselves based on that, right? Because they're the guilty party. So if I'm the guilty party and I run the system, well, I'm going to convict myself. That doesn't make any sense. They're never going to convict themselves. They're always going to create another loophole. They're going to create something else to make you run through so that you will never fully get justice or fully get the right amount of help that you need in order to combat a disease or whatever harm that Big Brother has caused to you. They always find a way to get out of it. Look at the Tulsa, Oklahoma City bombing. We know that they got bombed by Big Brother. We know that happened. We don't have to guess it. We don't have to think about it. Nothing. We know that this happened, but yet these people still cannot get reparations based on the fact that their town was bombed and that communities were destroyed and people were killed and people's lives were changed forever. Right? So we know that when it comes to the big guy, right? He's not going to convict himself. He's going to make you run through every loophole, every amount of litigation. He's going to have you doing court hearing after court hearing after court hearing because he controls the system. You know what I mean? The one who controls the game controls the rules. And that's why people ain't seeing justice because, someone else who has control over the game and over the rules is controlling that. Take a quick pause for the pause. You know what I mean? Pause for the cause for evolution. Hey, what's going on, evolution? You know what I mean? Good evening to you. Salute, salute, salute. But yeah, that's my point about that, Lol. I'm not saying that it's not true or that we don't have enough evidence. Of course we do, right? But they're not convict. The government's not going to convict itself, basically. It's not.
Well,
I want to know. Oh, no. Go ahead. I'll ask after you.
Well, the one thing I'll say is this. It's not illegal for these places to exist and operate, right? It's not illegal. However, it is illegal for them not to contain what they're doing without being sanctioned to do so. That is what's not legal. So on that premise, I would say there may, and I could be wrong, but there may be a valid basis for, let's say, retribution for these diseases getting out to the public and causing all sorts of mayhem. Meanwhile, I mean, look what we're dealing with here. We're talking about genetic manipulation. We're talking about biological warfare. Now, mind you, you got other countries doing the same thing. We're not the only ones playing with animals and stuff. We just the only ones that got a little bit of reserve when it comes to animals. But other countries are doing the same thing. However, if other countries get the notion that we're creating biological weapons to use on our own people or even on them, that is a sign that the U.S. government can be infiltrated by another government, and I understand that. But this is why I'm wondering, how in the world is this facility operating, allowing this stuff to happen, knowing the implications of this on a world stage?
Interesting. I wanted to ask briefly to the both of you. Now, I see me and Lady Oshun, we on the same page as far as we know it's out there, right? Like, we can't put our finger on it, but right. So my whole thing is, what do you think that if, say, this was brought to light, do you think that man will use the information for the better benefit of civilizations, or do you think that we will use it in an destructive way, or do you think we'll use it in a profit-only way? I think it'll be profit more than using it for benefit of destruction personally.
I think it would be profit too. I think even with weaponizing ticks, for instance, right? That's not all the government. You're talking about companies that have been working on technology since the 50s to do that, and they trying to cash in. So it's about profit, and it's a business arrangement for real. Because if it's just about them hogging technology, they're not trying to hog technology. They know that technology, you can't hide information, let alone for so long. So I'm with you on that point. I think that's exactly what that is. I wouldn't even say that they would attempt to just try to own it. They're not trying to own anything. They're trying to figure out, how do we use this to get to make our bottom line, which is our dollar, and keep it together. Because if dropping these ticks off on anybody, okay, whether it be their own people or foreigners, don't equal dollars, then what is it for?
Control.
Which probably equal
I mean,
dollars.
we just have to go down the list of all the things that we know man is the weakest in when it comes to staying away from it as a temptation. And we all know that power and control is something definitely next to sex itself that man just resists the temptation of. So that will be the conclusion I will come to just from a logical sense of thinking. But we can dig deeper into that. I digress. My mic is muted. Rock out.
No, true. And I agree. I would just say that right now, okay, for instance, if they wanted to test to see how these ticks would do, right? Ideally, if they're not in open war with no other country, how would they do that? You feel me? Like, now, here's the thing. Can you prove that they let out a bunch of ticks? Can you prove that they were operating illegally and doing certain things and then, you know, the spill happened? No, you can't prove that, but you can prove that whatever they were doing in that laboratory is now out in the general public. You can't prove how it happened, but you can prove that it happened, right? So, because you can trace the genetics of this Lyme disease back to that freaking facility. And this is why I'm a little pissed off that they stopped my video, because they really went in, and you guys seen that video, you know, what that was entitled. You guys can watch it for yourselves. But we understand that our intellect does not need to go too far to put this together. And right now, what I'm saying is this, like in my case, I would have never put this together years ago, but I literally had an encounter with my doctor that made me raise an eyebrow at what's really going on. Why is it that you are coveting getting tested for Lyme disease, but yet you've been forcing me to get testing for the most silliest of things, but not Lyme disease? What's up with Lyme disease? Oh, it has implications to the government. Okay, I understand that. But what are we talking about? So basically, he wanted me to basically just not think about it, whether I got the disease or not. They don't want me thinking about it. Now, why would that be the case? Because if you're trying to experiment on your own people, you want to know who it deletes, who it don't delete, how long it takes to delete, what is the parameters of that deletion. You want to understand the gestation periods of it. You want to understand certain things, and you can't do that, you know, on your own, just waiting for a time for you to, you know, as they say, go to World War III. No. You got to experiment on a population so you'll understand what you're doing when you actually go to war. And my thing is, if you think that this country is above doing this crazy stuff, we already have stuff on paper showing that the government was involved with similar things in the past. So I don't put it past anybody to still be doing, you know, these sorts of activities. It's just sad that you have people like everyday doctors in on it. That's what's sad. But hold on, let me run upstairs real quick. I'll be right back.
Yo, Smitty, I'm sorry.
Yeah, nah. I wanted to kind of say something to these. Why? Well, so look, right? Because I don't know, it just came to my mind when she was saying what she was saying. So I've always used to go through like a lot of, like, I was one of those, I went through a lot of like strife, especially with like my peoples, because they're like, we don't want you coming over here, or we don't want to come over to your place like during this time, like before like flu season and stuff, because I don't get them shots. And it's crazy how, like, all right, I notice how I hear a lot of stories, not all people, but a lot of stories how folks will go get these shots and then basically get sick. And I shit you not, I have never gotten one of those. I haven't gotten any of them, for the record. And thank goodness, because my job, I wasn't required and stuff, so I was okay. I didn't have to worry about it. So my point is, I don't get but maybe like the sniffles. I say like every so often, like maybe once every 4 years, I might get a little sore throat and maybe lower nose, little slight headache. I just do natural, like, pop garlic cloves. I drink hot tea, things of that nature. I'm always active. I stay flushed with water. I'm always eating fruits and vegetables, whole nine, right? And so I notice how, like, I'm able to, like, knock it right up out of me. And so I just be wondering when we talking about this biological warfare, as far as even down to things that they say are supposed to help us. Like, think about the medications they give us. How many times have you seen on that commercial, take Prilosec or whatever name, and it should help you with your osteoporosis, whatever these weird names are. But then the underline is such and such may cause bleeding of the stool, blindness in the left eye, no scent, can't taste anything, can't see or hear. Talk to your doctor first. And I'm like, why is it so many medications and so many things that they give us to put in our body is supposed to help us, but it's like 1,000 things that can go wrong at the same time? When you are dealing with things that's natural, it has more of a beneficial conclusion when it comes to your body and how it responds. Unless you're like allergic to whatever, this and that. Most people we know what we're allergic to, whether shellfish or whatever. But these medications, I believe, bruh, they are absolutely, like, that shit is wild. So I just be like real iffy about what I take and put in my body. People been taking Tylenol for so long, then come to find out that kills your liver. Like, bruh, you can't, it's wild. But I digress. My mic is muted.
I'm glad you share that, bro. Because at the end of the day, it's like they'll name all the symptoms and they'll name everything else. At the end of it, say, oh, it may cause death. And that's the crazy part about it. Like, y'all done listed all these symptoms and then you're going to say it could actually kill me? Like, yo, that is insane. That is ultimately insane. You know what I'm saying? So, hold on, Smitty, drive for a second. I gotta do something real quick, but just drive real quick.
No, I'm right here. No, that's, yeah, I mean, but we got to remember though too, like, let me ask you this. See, this is the weird part about it. Considering we're going to have war, all right, we're going to have war. Would you prefer that they sent in insects, or would you prefer that we just kept on sending bodies? So, I mean, like, would you say that that's an improvement? You see you see how wild that can be? I think I'm the only one. Respect.
My fault, everybody. So yeah, good evening to Stan Joseph. Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, I think that's a big thing, that like trying to hopefully Smitty do come back. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about that, Smitty. I just had to step away for a second. But yeah, trying to, you know what I mean? When you battling different like diseases or whatever, or it's the wintertime and like you're trying to basically doctor yourself up, you gotta be careful what they're telling you to take, right? And they'll tell you, oh, okay, take this injection or take this type of what they call it, medication, right? You know what I'm saying? And this will make you feel better. This will help you to battle this symptom. But then when you do your research, and you're like, well, hold on, that kind of interferes with my body. That interferes with how I feel, and that's interfering with just my normal routine or how I'm doing things. Now you're seeing that, wait, hold on, this medication is definitely not good for me, right? It definitely goes against, what I need for my system. And what we got to also understand, everybody's system is different. So it's also based on your genealogy, right? So if your genealogy, you know what I'm saying? Definitely, brother. Okay, I'm about to let you up. Definitely in your genealogy, right? If you know what I'm saying, are okay. If your family tree, you know what I mean, in your family tree, if you're allergic to certain things, right? If you can't have certain, chemicals or different things in your system based on your family history, then I may be able to take something, right, because in my family history, it doesn't affect me. But if you take it, you'll be allergic to it, right? But these are things that we don't talk about or cover, right? So we're just taking all these different things that they prescribe to us, all these different things they tell us to take, right? And we do them yearly, right? Or we do them seasonally, right? And we're not really, keen to the effects of how it actually affects us. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a big thing. So when we using different medications, or when we seeing our medical providers, right? Are they giving us the real information? Are they feeding us and giving us the things that actually can really help us, right? Are they just giving us something to temporarily either put a Band-Aid on, or are they a part of just the experiment themselves, right? So they're telling you, okay, take this or do this and do that. But are they doing it because they're getting, payola, they're getting some money under the table, from big GOV, right? Is the gov, I'm saying? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Is the gov paying off our medical practitioners, paying off our medical providers in order for us to take certain things, right?
So I honestly, from me seeing this stuff long time, I'm genuinely to the point where I believe it's more of an experiment, bro. These medications and stuff, these are experiments on the human body. Look, it's conspiracy night, so I guess this is the place to go in about it, right? Look, I've been having my thoughts and my theories about this, and I swear I'm seeing more and more clues and evidence. They started, all right, so we had something called that Scooby stuff, where it was like the fake weed had people crazy. Out here where I'm from, folks is known to be smoking both, you know what I'm saying, and wet. Them sherm sticks that had you zombie-like too. So my point is, I have so noticed that there is a huge zombie trend. And I hear a lot of people, and I used to look at them a little crazy, like these zombie apocalypse people. But then when we look at all of these new drugs that's out, they got this K something that's out there, like Detroit, like Philly, somewhere, places like that, where people literally look like zombies. You got the bath salt stuff. And so what I'm saying is this, all these chemicals, and then even down to certain medications. There are a lot of medications where, like, for example, Xanax, which is real big out there, which a lot of people like to pop the Xannies. Man, do you not know how many blackouts come with that? So my point is that all these things that, like, it's deeper than just, because there are a lot of things right here on the home front that they tell us that we should take because it's for your depression or anxiety, this, and that. But how many times have we heard people who took medications for one thing and it destroyed another? Did it to my father. He took a medication for his headaches. He suffered from migraine headaches. Well, migraines, because migraines ain't a headache, it's different. He suffered from migraines. He took a medication that helped the migraines, but it killed his kidneys. His kidneys. My father is a survivor of a kidney transplant. My one of my older cousins, because they both O blood type from a kidney. If not, my father be gone right now. Like, that's what I'm saying is wild. But I digress, though. My mic is muted.
Wow, I'm glad you brought up that point, yo. Like, that is a big thing. Ms. Oshun, welcome back. Before I get into my question, Ms. Oshun, was there something you would like to say or you want to build on?
No, we're good to go. We can keep it moving.
I don't know. She in something back there. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what she's smacking on.
I told you I was cooking. Tonight is a school night, so I told you I was cooking.
A steak dinner back there. You know what I'm saying? With the gravy and all that. You know what I mean? Little early joint. But no. So I got a question for Smitty. So as you are making people around you aware of what's going on, right? You're telling them, hey, listen, maybe I shouldn't be doing, all these different, you're taking all these different medications, or you're getting the flu shot or whatever. Are they pushing back? Are they willing to be informed? Is your results kind of mixed? Are there some people who want to know and some people who don't? Like, how do people react when you tell them the things that you've experienced and how you're going through within your own inner circle?
That's one of those things where, like, you ever find like $5 or something, and it's it's a rare thing to have people actually not try to like tell me I'm crazy and everything else. I've always been one that always thought outside the box. I've always been able to see things from all dimensions of it, right? Where other people just see it in 2D, I'm seeing it in 4D. So, you know, it could be real lonely sometimes when you're able to see things that other people can't, and you got to keep trying to explain to them what you're seeing, and it's so clear to you, but the more you give them a clear perspective and you even break it down, you got logic behind it, you even have some statistics and facts behind what you're saying, they still look insane. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I met with a lot more resistance, but every once in a while you come across somebody who like, nah, bro, I'm on the same page with you. And that's really who I focus on. So for the record, how you were saying, I don't really tell nobody not to do anything. I'm not that type. What I do is I put something down on the table, and whoever wants to go dig in, wash your hands first. If you don't want none, just keep on going. All I do is lay it on the table. So I'm never one to try to push or force anybody in any form of thinking. I will present something to you, and you do with it with that information as you see. I digress. My mic is muted.
Mr. Oshun, go ahead. I know you're gonna say something.
I think that is essentially the purpose of these conversations we have on this particular segment, to bring you information and you do with it as you please or as you will. I think we all know that when you tell people things that are quite disturbing, their natural responses to homeostasis, right? So they have to reject it until it's something that they cannot reject anymore. And oftentimes it's when they in the situation. So, you know, like, there were certain things I doubted too about certain things, right? That highly contagious in these streets. And until I was in those shoes, I didn't quite understand. But it's natural. But at the same time, when you're sharing information, you shouldn't share information from your heart space. Meaning, if someone rejects it, you feel personally rejected because they reject the information.
Agreed. Yeah, buddy. Yep.
Yeah, like I don't feel personal because like you said, Smitty, it is a lonely place to be when you're the only one that can see the future, when you're the only one that can see the past, when you're the only one that can see what's really going on and nobody else can. But imagine being that person where you can't see, but someone else can, and you need to trust them 100% to be your eyes and ears, and you have no idea really what you're doing. It can be scary. So I don't take it personal when people. I really don't.
Well, you know, I would say, because, all right, one, we all know with these things, whenever we're dealing with people in life, and that's why I said, I believe to you guys before, as far as I don't expect much from people, so that way I'm not that disappointed when things go wrong or shit hits the fan, right? So I never really expected too much, but I do get where you're coming from and what you're saying as far as like, because like when it comes to the person, okay, say I'm the one I can't see or whatever, what I would do then at that point is something that I believe and I say people need to do more of, is you need to look at actions. That's why actions are very, very important. So no matter what I'm saying to you, there'll be certain results that are around me where you can be like, you know what? I mean, it does seem to work for him. He has made it this far. He has successfully climbed this hill, such and such. He is telling us, nah, listen, when you get up here to this point, nah, you want to go inside the cave and kind of come up this little tunnel. Don't try to keep going up. It gets slippery. You can fall, die, whole nine. If you know that I've been getting up and down that hill, then at that point, I will go by that. Now, if it's just somebody you don't see no results of and they just talking, at that point, that's where I always say third eye open, use discernment. I digress. My mic is muted. But I'm with you though. I'm with you though, Lady Oshun, definitely.
Yeah, and it's hard. I'm not even gonna lie, it's hard because I've had to tell other people, look, leave people where they at. Everybody is supposed to come up at the rate they're supposed to come up. It's almost like when you got somebody underwater, you can't bring them up but so fast, or you'll kill them. Or you'll delete them. And it's the same way with anything else. You know, as they say in our culture, everything is everything. That's the truth. It is.
Okay. So you're saying that we have to selectively give information to people.
Yeah, because I think to a degree, right? Sometimes we don't understand the danger in the knowledge that we have because we have it and we're okay. So we don't understand the danger. But then when we see how the government is very selective in who understands and who knows what, because they understand down the road, knowledge is power, or knowledge can be detrimental. You put the wrong knowledge in the right knowledge in the wrong hand, you got a recipe for disaster, and vice versa. So for me, I've just gotten to a point where, like, when I'm on this panel and I'm talking, right, I'm never telling somebody, look, this is a conspiracy, because I don't believe in conspiracy. I believe in, is this something that's real or not? What are we talking about? I don't do that. But people will say, well, Lola, that's a conspiracy because it's not popular or it's not factual. And meanwhile, whatever a fact is based on people that lie all the time. Like, here's what it is. But I know that the place I'm at with what I know, most people have not walked that road. So if I want to put people at the end of that road and say, hey, this is what you should know when you haven't walked in my shoes, that's akin to deleting them. For real. It is. Like, it's almost like putting a firearm in a baby's hand and then expecting that baby to know how to maturely handle that firearm. That's what it's like.
You know what's wild listening to all of this? That's why I like talking to you guys. You get my brain going. I'm just sitting here wondering, what does, okay, so we have wars. Countries go back and forth. Some sides win, sometimes the other side loses, blah, blah. What would you say the end of war looks like? Like what does that look like? The end of war. Like, I'm really thinking, yeah, that's wild. What does that picture look like? Sit on that.
Wouldn't that be heaven? Or wouldn't that be wouldn't it be kind of like the end of days, like Revelation, like, because all war?
Or would it be like Mad Max and the Book of Eli?
Ooh, wow.
I'll say this, right? If we're going to theoretically say the end of war, you got to think about what precedes that, right? And what would precede, what situation would have to be present in order for there to be no war on this planet? I think it's kind of, maybe it's a little, maybe I'm simplifying this a bit too much, but I would assume that if there's no war on this planet amongst human beings, it's because their attention for war is turned away from this planet to something else. Therefore, we're acting on one accord in unison for our own homeostasis. Therefore, we can't fight at each other. We're fighting something else, because life in and of itself is a fight. It's a war.
Independence Day?
Yeah, for all intents and purposes.
Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah. I ain't even gonna hold you on that. Yeah, because again, human beings are human beings, and fighting is a part of life. War is a part of life. But if there is no war on this planet, it's because they have to band together, and there's literally no time and space for it. So therefore, what would have to be facing us for all of us to have to not face each other, but something else? Yeah, you're looking at the end.
So like, for example, the comet that's about, I think, the size of Neptune, that's heading towards us, rapid speeds, but they say it'll take a couple more 100 years before it reaches our orbit, so we're okay. But let's say, it was during that time, so it was like a huge meteor. You think something like that would end war? Like, we would come to a peace treaty? Or do you think something like that would have us fight even more? Like, F it, it might be almost over.
No, I think as countries, we would have to, because if the United States understands, every country understands the implications of, let's say, creating the wrong allies. So if you have an outside force coming into the planet and you want to argue and fuss with China or argue and fuss with Australia or America,
Russia, whoever, right.
or Europe, meanwhile, everybody finna die if they don't come together. This is what we call a new world order, meaning all world governments have to act as one government if the planet, if anybody is going to be breathing in the future. So under those imminent circumstances, you would see the governments turn and understand that they are one under this sky, and they'll be fighting as one entity. Now, I'm not going to say that's going to end personal wars, right? Like, no, it's still going to be, being people. But
okay,
war is, like I said, war is a part of nature. But for war to end on this planet, like globally, it's because the issue is not on this planet anymore. It's above this planet.
But see, I guess the reason why I would say there is validity to what you're saying is because, all right, so like you said, if the big meteorites come in, we all got to join together, because if it hits, it's going to tear us up. All right, boom. I guess I would put that same logic into, because I still wonder, as much as we all hate each other, nobody's pushed that button yet. Because, I mean, let's just be for real. Like, if one push that button, what's going to be responses from us, and that could in itself be the end of us. And I do believe that's why, regardless of all the shit talking that goes on, and even down to actual blood spill that goes on, nobody's pushed that button yet, because they know once somebody pushes it, no matter which side it comes from, that's it. That's it.
I think Hiroshima, that which wasn't, but so I think that put that in their heads like real quick. Like, listen, you didn't know what you was fitting to do when you pressed that button, but now that you done pressed that button, your ass know good and well that's the last time you want anybody to press a button, because if you can do that, understand someone else can do it to you. So you better hold your fucking horses from here on out and make sure everybody else holds their horses, or else everybody dies. Like, literally.
You ain't lying. Respect.
Hiroshima let them understand that technology does not belong to them. Hiroshima let them understand all of the knowledge they acquired to create that, to split that atom and create that disaster over there. They understood that. The Russians understood that. So did the Iranians. So did so many other people, so many other countries, that it's like, wow, if you feel like you can hit the button, they can hit the button too. They can. And that's what it means when you tap out. That's what it means. So, I mean, the truth be told, right? There's petty war going on right now. It's not really real war. It's petty war. But they're not going to let that get but so big. Like, there's factions of every government whose sole responsibility it is for them to regulate how large beef gets between countries.
But I just wonder, is it really possible to get the number of humans that's on Earth as citizens, as opposed to the power, right? Is it possible to get everybody on one tongue, one currency, one religion? Like, there's no way I can see that. I cannot see everybody bowing to one religion, one type of currency, and one tongue, one language. All of the shit. Come on now. And then what would we do about the daggone tribes that's like on islands and stuff? Do we still leave them alone? The ones that'll throw arrows at you if you try to convert them to Christianity? Like, do we still leave them out of it? Like, how does this work?
Well, technically, everything you said, we're already doing. When you say, is there one tongue? Let's be clear about something. There is one language out here. We all know what language we all understand. It is. When it talks about, we know. Listen, when somebody starts talking a certain language, we all understand. We do not need to be the same country.
That's true.
You understand? when it comes to the same religion, everybody's religion is money. Everybody's religion is money. Period. Even the most pious of us bow to the god of money when we're hungry. We do. Nobody goes to bed hungry on because they're just pious and they refuse to do something bad for it. No, you went to bed hungry because you didn't have any ideas of how to get it. So that's it. So it's what you just said is true. It's just not true in terms of the very literal sense of it all. But it is true.
But it goes to my philosophy that power is both taken and also given, right? So for something like that to happen, there has to be a certain amount of power inflicted, and that once that power is inflicted, people have to give that entity its power, and that entity is also going to take power. So it's going to be twofold, right? Whether that power comes in the form of love or hate, right? And it can come in the form of either one, and it may come in the form of love and hate for different people. So they may love people over here in America, and they may hate people over there in Europe, right? So we never know what kind of entity will actually force people to actually be on one accord. You know what I'm saying? On top of that, you know what I'm saying? I think it'll be interesting for those who are not on the grid, right? As Smitty was talking about. So those tribes and those people who are off the grid, who are self-sufficient, who don't know about technology, don't care about technology, ain't relying on technology, right? How will they now react to this new entity, right? You know what I mean? And how would they respond? So I think that's also another good aspect of it. You know what I mean? Because some societies and some people are self-sufficient, right? They don't actually need, you know what I mean, the government or any type of federal, reliance in order to live, or in order for them not to be, as you say, so shoe hungry, right? They actually are self-sufficient. You know what I mean? To us, what they're doing may be crazy. You're like, man, I ain't going out there throwing no arrow at no pig and roasting it. Like, I'm going to the supermarket. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? But for them, that's just normal life. You feel what I'm saying? So they're self-sufficient on their own. So I think all these different aspects come into, what he's talking about as far as how would one entity actually, completely take over the world and make us just be on one accord.
Well, keep in mind, right? If they take away your food supply, everybody gonna bow down. I mean,
that's what they were saying about the chip. Like, they trying to make it so, they can cut off if you going against the plan, they can go ahead and cut you off, and you can't shop, you can't, go and handle your business and stuff. So it kind of keep everybody in line. But I mean, I'm gonna be honest, that type of living, I mean, I don't know. I don't really that in our lifetime or within our kids' lifetime. I think that's something, if that was to be implicated, that's going to be some decades away, like some many, maybe a century away. That'll be a while. I personally don't see it. People buck too much. If
it's a force thing, I would take it that you're talking about. Yeah, you talking
martial law.
Yeah, martial law. You talking about something outside of anything we've seen before in history.
Right. So I mean, yeah, I don't see that. I just think that it's something that is a very, very scary thought. So it's going to bring about many discussions, and many that I like to listen to and be involved in. Because I mean, I do see little hints of stuff that go on, but it's nothing deep enough to the point where I'm seeing, well, yeah, within the next maybe 10, 20 years, it's still for the part right around going to be exactly how it is now. It's just going to be maybe more weird shit going on, but yeah. But I'm worried about that outside threat a lot more than people may want to give it credit for, honestly, because the outside threat, see, we're fully equipped to handle basically most things here on planet Earth, because we've seen it, we can identify with it. Something of an outside force, that's I would say that would actually That actually make me a little nervous, because would we really know how to truly handle something that we've never had to handle before? I don't care how many simulations we set up, but yeah, I don't know. I digress.
No, but we actually have seen where like they have seen outside forces or outside life, and they've like tried to chase it, or they have sent our own aircrafts to try to track it down, and they haven't been able to even keep up with it. You know what I'm saying? So we've seen that already, where they've tried to, handle these things, where they see like a flying, light, or a flying, alleged spaceship, and they try to track it down, and they haven't been able to even, they tried to shoot rockets at it, and they completely missed. So the thing is that no, we
You saw that when they loaded up all those drum cannons. They look like almost like lasers when they shoot in the sky. Yeah, they couldn't hit it. I did see a clip like that. I had to, with videos like that, I got to look at about 3-4 times to make sure it ain't CGI or fake or nah. That one right there, that was authentic video, and I don't know what that was. Dark, not hit it.
Well, it was something that was beyond our, our forces, our military forces at that. So, we understand that.
No comprehension.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? And maybe I'll say this: maybe we do have the technology to probably handle it, but maybe just maybe we're hiding certain things. You also got to understand there's certain things that we don't want to expose yet. There's certain cards in the deck that we don't want to play. You know what I mean? So we could maybe, have certain things that could handle certain things, but we don't want to expose that card because maybe those things that we expose may be too catastrophic, for everybody around us, right? Whether it's a biochemical weapon or actually a nuclear weapon, right? We can't expose that because that's going to be detrimental to everybody around us, right? So yeah, we probably can destroy this ship or this flying light with a nuke, but what is it going to do to the environment? What is it going to do to the surrounding areas of the people that's there? You know what I mean? It's definitely going to hurt the people that's around there. So, yeah.
Do you think we have actually teleportation?
Say again?
You say it again?
Do you think we have patented teleportation just as of yet? Do you think we've gotten on that? Like we actually know the sequences and the codes for teleportation?
No. And the reason why I'm gonna say that is because, and this is something that I don't know if we spoke about this before, but at least we were trying to on this channel. The Philadelphia experiment let the government know that teleportation is real, but you're talking about something, an exotic form of matter that is heavily it's heavily unstable. So basically, what the gist was. They did this experiment using high energy pulses, and basically the soldiers disappeared on a ship, then reappeared. And I don't know exactly when they reappeared, but it reappeared somewhere, somehow. And these men were literally inside of the
ship. They were sealed into like the metal of the ship. Yeah.
Right. It was almost like it got rearranged.
So you believe it happened, right?
No, I know it happened, but the thing is, they didn't know that was going to happen, but now they know it's possible. They just don't know what happened. They're still studying that.
But my thing is, the story, no, because trust me, I looked at that story a lot too. I like that story. That was very interesting to me. Very interesting. My whole thing is that I believe that happened. So I'm just saying, see, that's really why I asked, like, do you think, okay, so we got the patent down of teleportation now. Maybe we haven't gotten it down to the point where we can teleport all different types of matter. Maybe it's something about flesh, organs, and the liquids and fluids in your body as opposed to like this thermos, right? So I mean that's why I was saying, as far as like the patent, even down to like, because I'm going to look more into it. I got to look more into CERN, because what they're doing with that Hadron Collider is something that I believe could be like, we know what black holes do, space. why would you try to create one on planet Earth?
Right.
I'm more scared of that than a damn nuke. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, why are you attempting to make a black hole here? Like, what? Why?
See, people don't want to talk about that, Smitty. See what you talking about, the real end of days right there. Anything, and I mean literally anything that goes wrong with that could be the end of this freaking solar system if you really want to talk about what the potential. Anything goes wrong because you don't know what you're dealing with and how fast it can grow and literally suck everything in existence around it into it. And I'm sitting here like, why is it that ain't nobody scared? Like right now, I know the weather pattern over top of that facility in Switzerland is always crazy stuff. Like when you go, if you go in there and you just look above, you'll be like, what is happening here?
But not even that. What's the statue out front of the place?
And I ain't seen that yet.
Statue of Shiva. They got Shiva right out front.
Who's Shiva?
God of destruction, Hindu guy. Basically like the devil in Hindu. You've seen Shiva like with the many arms and stuff, the Hindu demon looking like this.
That is. Okay.
Why is that statue out front? Why? Out of all things that can be out front. You can have a planet, a telescope.
And anything, you just use Shiva. But that technically Shiva does describe what they're doing there quite accurately in terms of taking atoms and smashing them together to watch
antimatter. They're playing with antimatter, and that's if anybody know about antimatter, that is extreme. Just a that is extremely. But yeah, go ahead. Radio.
No, I mean you were right. I mean, people theorize that everything that we can see was at some point as dense as a 1-inch cube by 1 inch in the universe. That's how dense all of what we see in the visual space was at some point. Like a 1-inch cube, like I don't even think we can really capitulate what that means. So when you say the smallest of antimatter can create the biggest of issues essentially out here for us, like the number one issue, it's more important than any nuclear warhead. It's more important than any war. It's more important than any invasion. It's more important than anything. And they over there basically trying to take us all to HE double hockey sticks with them.
But the thing is that the reason why Shiva is there is because just like any other entity that we see, all these entities are real. So I don't know why people just think that like only God, Jesus, and the devil or Allah is real, right? But no, even if you carefully read, right, the word of God, right? God tells people, he says, you shall have no other God except for me, right? So if God is God, right? He's all powerful, he's all knowing, and there's no other God outside of him. He's not worried about other gods, right? He's not worried about anything else, right? He's not even gonna reference them or even talk about them, right? That's like me saying, you can't watch no other YouTuber but me, right? Like, why would I say that? Why do I even care about any other YouTuber if I'm focused on what I'm doing, right? But that's being said for a reason. And it's being said because these entities exist. Shiva is just as real as the devil. She's just as real as Jesus, just as real as anybody else. All these entities are real. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's from African religion or any other religion, they all exist. So of course, if they want to cause destruction, they're gonna call an entity that actually causes destruction in order to manifest it. So
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, brother. So let me ask you this. What would be what would you say to a person who's like, I don't believe in none of that's real because you can't see it and stuff like that. I only believe I can basically see, touch, and all of this other stuff. So how would you possibly, try to describe to somebody who says that, if you would?
I would just say, look at how when people are subscribed to these deities, how it manifests in their lives. You know what I'm saying? You could take family members, you could take anybody around you. Look at the manifestation of what they believe and what is the fruit of them and of their belief, right? So that's what essentially, all religions call you. I mean, Christianity specifically says, you would know somebody nature by the fruit that they produce, right? So what fruit is producing in someone's life? For instance, right, if me and you are both on crack, right, and you follow Islam to get off crack, I follow Christianity to get off crack, and we both get off crack, right? Me and you are no longer using crack cocaine, right? We are free. We are healthy.
That's a hell of an example, but okay, keep going. I'm gonna stay with you.
We are clean, right? Me and you are good. So are you better than me, or am I better than you? No, neither one of us is better than each other. But the entities that we use, right, help manifest the good fruit in our lives, right? And also, we also know this, and I know people hate using this terminology, but anyway, what's already seen don't need to be said.
I like that. Nah, that's pretty dope, bro. Like, seriously, me, like, I kind of keep it, I think, a little simple. Now I may be a little off, but I know why. Because I've had a lot of people ask me, like, how you believe in it? How do you know it's real and all this other stuff? And the only thing I can say, I guess, that'll be of sound is I ask people, right? Like, let me ask you this, Professor. Can you feel when the wind is blowing?
You say, can I see when the wind is blowing?
Can you feel when the wind is blowing?
Oh, of course, yes.
Okay. And if the wind is blowing strong enough, you can even tell which direction they're blowing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay. All right. We are inhaling and exhaling because we're breathing in said air, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Can we see this air? Can we see it? Can we even touch it? Can we touch it? Can we like grab a handful of it in our hands and be like, I got some air in my hand?
No, you can't.
Okay. Well, that's exactly how I love and created. It's that real. So I digress from my Rocco.
I hear you. Go ahead, Mr. Oshun. I know you about to cook.
Well, I can't. I'm definitely not going to disagree. It just boils down to the issue of what people need in order for them to not believe, but for them to know. And I always correct people when they say, "I know there's a God," and then they reference knowing there's a God to a book that they're quoting, nothing in their actual life. It's like, you do not know that God exists. You do not know your God. You definitely believe in your God, though. That is true. You believe in your God, but you do not know that God exists, and you do not know your God. To know means to experience said thing. Some people know things because it's in their experience. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't believe that demons exist until you came face to face with one. And I don't mean theoretically.
Right.
So it's like, but here's the thing. Is it for you to believe in it if it will never meet you? No, it's not.
But Lola, what if they have experience but they don't fully understand it? Right? I think everybody has experience. You know what I mean? These things that you're saying, whether it's God or anything else, right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But I think our understanding is not completely full. But even if you read, biblical text or any other text, it always tells you that you're not going to know everything, right? It tells you that in time will reveal certain things. No matter what type of spiritual text you take, time will reveal certain things, because time ultimately is the one thing that the deities have control over, right? That's the one thing that makes them ultimately a deity, is the fact that they can control where you at, what you're gonna do, and how you do it, and how long you have to do it, right? That's the one thing that makes people love and also fear God, is because He allocates your time and your steps, right? If I'm able to allocate what I'm gonna do and how I'm gonna move and do whatever I want, then there's no fear of God, because I know I can do whatever I want and I can live however long I want to. right? But when I know my time is limited, which we know it is, right? That's a proven fact. We all know that our time is limited, or we've been kind of forced to believe that, right? And maybe if we don't believe that, maybe we can probably change the tune. But that's a whole other conversation for another day. Oh no, we already here, so let's just have the conversation. So time is essentially what makes God God, right? Or the deities, right? So essentially, maybe, like I said, maybe it's not the fact that they haven't experienced it; they just have a lack of understanding of what they experience.
I'll agree to the fact that people may lack understanding of the experiences they have came across. However, there is no, as they say in Islam, there's no compulsion in religion, right? Meaning that the words of God is going to speak to you, right? For what that means. Whether or not you have the eyes to see or the ears to hear is dependent on you, because there is a thing called free will, despite the theories, right? If you're not one that's sensitive enough to hear things, to know things, to recognize patterns and what they mean, and abstraction, which is a big way humans understand the outside world, you probably will live your whole life and miss that conversation that's being had with you. But here's the thing, it's neither wrong or right. It's just the plight of cognition in the 3D world. It just is.
Okay. I understand. Smitty, you got anything else for me, dog? I'm here.
Yeah, I mean, well, so it's like, cause see, reason why I was asking about in that form, because even how we talking about with this war on biological warfare and this whole new engineering. Is this something when it comes to, like, do we have to have war? Is war just essential to human life as actual sleep and eating? You know what I'm saying? Like, what really is the purpose of it? And some, like myself, would say, well, that's because energies and entities we can't see need to continue to feed just like anything else, and certain things feed on certain things. You know, flies eat shit, you know? So so I keep that in perspective. So that's why I asked, what does the end of war look like? And it's funny because Brother Best said heaven. So I mean, I don't know, man. It's mine in many different areas, you know, so it's kind of hard for me to stay pinpointed on, because I keep thinking of other avenues. So,
but the only reason there's war. I'm sorry, Smitty, go ahead. The only reason there's war.
No, I was just saying it's a lot of roads on this. I'm done.
Okay, the only reason that we have war, we have dissension, is because essentially, you know what I mean, there's one class of people who want to keep another class of people under their control, right? That's why there's racism. That's why there's classism. That's why there's all these things, because there's a select group of people who want to make sure that other people are never going to be free, or they're never going to have, or they're never going to be liberated, right? You know what I mean? Because if I control people, that allows me to live in a level of comfort that's like God-like, right? Because now I get to tell people what to do, right? I get to basically manifest to them, how they're going to live their life, how long they're going to work, where they're going to work at, how much money they're going to make, right? What neighborhoods I want them to be in, right? Because I can zone them out, AKA redlining. That's another conversation for another time as well. But, you know what I'm saying? But listen, right? Because this exists on this type of level where we know that one group of people are going to, because they have control over another group of people, they're not going to give that up easily, right? So if I, for hundreds of thousands of years, have always ruled over these people, and they basically have been my servants, and I'm used to being my servants in any kind of capacity, right? Whether it's within, actual slavery, whether it's a segregation, whether it's in mental or emotional slavery, right? Where I'm actually controlling the narrative of the society that they live in and what they believe, I'm not going to give that up, because if I give that up, that means that I lose power. And if I lose power, that means I lose a sense of comfort, right? Is it evil? Possibly, right? And to us, maybe it is evil because we have experienced this our whole life, right? So we've seen how our people, you know what I mean, have dealt with that. But, and other people's as well. But the ones that's in control or in power, they're not going to just easily give that up, right? They're going to have to be forced to give that up. And if they're not forced to give it up, then guess what? It's always going to exist.
They say like about, I think like 8%, something like that, or whatever, of the world's population owns like 80% of the world's wealth. I mean, that's, so it is what it is. So whatever that hand is, I just know that I'm glad that I'm equipped to make sure that whatever's going around in my life, I'm able to take care of it to the best of my ability, handle it. I'm also mentally prepared for a lot. So that primarily comes from when you've been through a lot. So that's why I've been for a lot of people that ain't really been through shit. My goodness gracious.
Yeah, go ahead, Ms. O'Shea. What were you saying?
No, I was gonna say I feel him. Like right now, the what I've been doing is basically just keeping myself in the know and maintaining, because you never really know when you're gonna need to basically, use that bug out bag, whatever. Like, trust me, I stay ready. Like, I already know at any given time anything can pop off out here, so I don't be living my life like I'm in the most secure place on the planet. Maybe I am, but I don't live that way, because I'm telling you, if you listen, stay ready. So you wanted to get ready.